Good morning and welcome to AUMCuisine. Bonjour and namaskar. It's time to fuse two of my favorite places on earth, Morocco and India, and the flavors that speak to me as the mistress of spices. So today we're going to be making something which is a story, a romance, complete poetry all rolled into one, into a pot. A really hot pan, and I'm going to be adding in some coconut oil, and to that coconut oil some cumin seeds and some chili flakes, and then some onions. So after the onions go in, it's really important to mix it up really well with the cumin and the chili flakes. And then I'm going to be adding in a big chunk of garlic. It's minced garlic. And because I'm making such a big batch, I think putting in so much garlic is really important. But you can choose to reduce your quantity of garlic, but you know, this is a good idea to put in that much of garlic. I'm going to be putting in an equal quantity of ginger, and I'll allow it all to simmer and brown up and get together. At this juncture, you need to add some tomatoes. And as soon as the tomatoes are added, I'm going to go in with some turmeric. This is one of my most favorite dishes. Like, I put it together after my recent trip to Morocco. And I've been to Morocco many times. It speaks to me. There's something about the air, something about the people, the languages, and it's just lovely. So once the tomatoes go in and it has started to soften, I'm going to go in there with some basil. So you'll notice that most of it so far is like the way we make an Indian Kurma, with the exception of course of the basil, because we don't normally add basil to Indian Kurma. It's more Italian, if you will, right? So the flavors are getting to know each other. I'm then going to be adding in some green beans cut at an angle. So I like to add in the green beans. It takes a tad longer to cook, and it's really nice for the flavors to intermingle with the green beans. And like I always say, the order of ingredients is critical to a great dish. I'm then going to be adding in some carrots, and some green bell pepper. Beautiful. At this point, it's time to add the Moroccan spice. This Moroccan spice is called ras el hanout. It's almost like the Moroccan version of Indian garam masala. So it has all of the coriander and the cilantro, the cumin and such, but it's done in specific quantities, and it's just perfect. It's just got like the absolute perfect texture. It's ground up really nicely, and I'm going to add, 2 double pinches of it, because this is the most important spice. It also does have some clove and nutmeg and cinnamon. Just like the southwestern part of India, Morocco is also known for spices and spice trade from the days of yore. So this is just a perfect mix, and I love the smell that's coming through from here. It's just beautiful fragrance. Beautiful. And to this, I'm going to be adding in some Turkish sumac, which really gives it a kind of a tarty, lovely, berry-like flavor. Both of these spices can be bought from, retailers from Morocco or Turkey, and I'm sure anything is available on Amazon. So once that's done, I'm going to be adding in some mushrooms. Now, I believe in creating vegan flavors. So when you add the mushroom, it gives for some level of substance and texture. And for many of my friends who have been non-vegetarian and are moving on to becoming a vegetarian, I think the mushroom is a happy balance. It kind of reminds them of the days that they used to eat meat, but now it is a good, healthy vegetarian balance for the same thing. So once that happens, I'm going to be adding in some cardamom. Now, I'm quite liberal on the cardamom, but some people don't really like it as a flavor, but I think cardamom goes really well with this spice mix. So to this, I'm going to be adding in some coconut milk. Beautiful. I love the gravy to come together in the coconut milk. Give it a few minutes on the stove with just the coconut milk. So as you hear the little bubbles working its magic, go ahead and add some regular water and let the celebration continue. Now is the perfect time to add some saffron. Saffron, otherwise called Crocus sativus, is from the stamen of a beautiful flower. This particular saffron is from Spain, so we're having a little Mediterranean theme going. So I'm going to be adding it directly in here. It's often hailed as the queen of spices and has this incredible flavor, very floral, and has so many properties, including the purification of blood. And it's often given to expectant mothers. And since the mother will have better circulation, the child will be born healthier. Unfortunately, there are so many references made to women having to have this saffron milk just so that their offspring would be fairer. As an Indian, it's very deeply concerning to me that somebody would even bother making this comment for centuries, so it is not such a nice thing to, kind of judge people based on the color of their skin. It's completely ridiculous. And unfortunately, the Indian culture has some stupid references of that nature. So moving on to our Moroccan Kurma, I would really like this swimming to be perfect, and I can hear the sound of it. Go ahead and add the green peas. Always wait for the end to add the green peas in order to retain its color. And let's put that lid on and leave it like so for about 2 minutes. Okay, as those bubbles are coming through, we really know that this gravy is ready. So to the kurma, at this juncture, I'm going to be adding in some mint leaves. There is nothing like Moroccan mint, right? I mean, there is nothing like mint with the flavor of Morocco. Like, it's everywhere. And that's something similar we share with India as well. It's just beautiful. And only now am I going to salt. This is a very mildly flavored curry. It does not have too much chili flakes, though you might think that I added quite a bit of chili flakes and ginger in the beginning. You will not feel a thing with so many vegetables swimming around. And this is such a perfect kurma that goes almost seamlessly with even a plain basmati rice or a vegetarian pilaf or some Indian bread or some sourdough toast. I mean, it's endless. You could do some quinoa with it. And I'm glad you cannot notice the way that my mouth is salivating at this point. And I know I want to do a really interesting taste test really soon. Now, you would have noticed that I've not added cauliflower to this. And normally you could add cauliflower if you wanted, but I really wanted to kind of keep everything without too much dimension so that the appearance as well as the way that we can eat it can be, you know, quite flat rather than coming out. So that was the idea. I'm going to be doing a little bit of plating. So when you see the colors of this, they're all so fresh and brilliant. And even when I have people over, I always put in the vegetables first. When you put in the vegetables first, you can actually doctor the amount of gravy you add around it. So to do this, I'm going to be adding in the gravy like so, just on the sides, so that the vegetables are all standing up beautifully. There you go. Beautiful. I can feel my heart beating differently. I'm going to be putting in some fresh mint on the sides. That's like really garden fresh mint. So, it's time to do a taste test. It's like a perfect marriage between a handsome hunk from Morocco and some type of an Indian princess or goddess or whatever. It was just, And the vegetables are al dente. They still have the credibility of their own existence rather than everything going into one flavor profile. So beautiful. Okay, lots of bisous to my friends in Morocco and a big, big pot of love to my friends in India. And for the rest of you, you really need to wish that in your future you will be traveling to both these remarkable countries and in the process enjoying its food. So maybe making this recipe is a good first start. Until we meet again in another episode of AUMCuisine, this is Vaidyaji Priyanka.